All right, guys, we're back. I don't know who prayed for this shit to give you 3 videos in one night, but
somebody did. It's working.
And you know what we hear? Look, I don't know why we turn this shit off. Fire conversations keep going, so...
We're fire people, bro. You know why.
I know why. But without further ado, we're going to give you a third one.
All right.
We here, it is your boy, Alessandro Tryhard here with...
The Call Out Clinic. Let's go.
And this is the podcast about everything and nothing. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? We decided, fuck it. Third video. Let's roll it out.
Why not?
Third video, we're going to call it Played Yourself.
Yep.
So, Clinic was in the middle of having a fire conversation about why, for lack of a better term, these hoes are out here playing themselves, not knowing what they want, but knowing what society is dictating to them that they should want, and why it's affecting them. So, go ahead, pick up where you were.
All right. Let me finish that chocolate, though.
Yeah, finish that chocolate. Finish that chocolate.
Okay. All right. So, what I was saying is, because we're having a conversation about girls and then how, okay, like me coming up strong to them or not doesn't change anything. Because if I come up strong to you and I go, look, you're fire, I'm fire, yo, let's make it happen. And you go, well, I don't like the fact that you came in that angle because you don't know me like that, whatever, this is rude, and I want to be dated and all that shit. All you're doing is delaying something that you ultimately want. Right? Now you're going to say, well, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is, okay, Tryhard goes in, finds a fire girl, he tells her that, and the girl's like, oh, no, you're being disrespectful, I was just out with my girls, and then you're out here like thinking like I'm just some sort of hoe. Okay, no problem. Dismissed. All right, no problem.
I strike out.
You strike out.
I never see this girl again.
You find another girl.
Blah, blah, blah. But let's follow this girl's life for the sake of argument.
We're following that girl's life, right? Doesn't do anything that night. And then she talks to her girlfriend. I can't believe that this guy has the audacity to show up like that. No problem. Now what happens? Very next day, she's out and about. There's another guy that shows up. And he goes, yo, you're the most fire girl I've ever seen. You know all of this stuff. She's like, oh my God, you know, why are you so nice to me? She's like, well, look, I want to take you out on a date and do this and do that. Girl goes, okay. Goes on that first date. Amazing. She's having drinks. Blah, blah, blah. She's laughing. It's great. And then she goes, well, you know, I'd like to see you again. Makes it happen again. Drinks now. And then it's like, okay, well, do you want to go back to my place? Sure thing. Goes back. And then, you know, shit happens. They're having sex, right? Now, why did you need this investment that might have gone like nowhere for only doing like at the end of the day you get the same result, which is you're having fun with some dude, right? So, and then maybe the guy did that and then he goes, well, look, next week I'm gonna call you next week, I'll be out of town, I just, you know, you're cool, but I wasn't looking for a relationship like that. I just wanted to hit a couple times. Now you feel like an idiot because you go, I should have seen that. But it's not even that. It's like, look, sex is sex. A relationship is a relationship. The two are intertwined, but you don't need a relationship to have sex. And I can even argue that you wouldn't need sex to have a relationship. Right? Obviously, like, I'm too grown to fucking deal with this shit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, look, sex is sex. So at the end of the day, if you wanted something...
No, sex feels great. Sex is fucking fire.
It's fucking fire.
It's
amazing.
Fire. It's amazing, yeah.
Why did you have to go to all the facade of, like, oh my God, like, I'm not a hoe because I made him wait a month or 2 weeks or 3 dates. At the end, he's still a hoe. If you're thinking like that, you're a hoe.
Yeah. So let me play devil's advocate here. Okay. All right. I will defend these young women that I will say are a little misguided in this sense.
Yeah. Why?
And I will defend them and say, look, you know what? Maybe they honestly thought through stereotypes perpetuated through the media that the best thing to do is to make a guy wait. So they did that. They checked that box with this new guy, right?
Right, okay.
Because when I was trying with them originally, I was too forward and too blunt. So immediately, too many red flags. I'm out. I'm out of the game.
Okay.
This guy gets past the first barrier. The first barrier is, does he want this now or does he want a date? All right, he wants a date, so I can check that box. I go on the first date.
Yeah.
Okay, was he a gentleman? Yes, I can check that box. Did he treat me nice? Yes, I can check that box. Do I like him? Yes, I can check that box. I go on the second date, everything's the same, except the second date, he's like, can I come over for a coffee? I say yes, because there's no red flags so far, and I can check all the boxes.
Yeah.
He comes over for a coffee, things get a little crazy, we fuck. Alright? So remember, I'm still playing devil's advocate on these girls' behalf.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They end up fucking. All of a sudden, guys like, yo, look, I like to make this a regular thing. I'm like, no problem. I really like you. I want to make it a regular thing too. Can we do dinner next week? He's like, dinner doesn't work for me, but I can come here next week. Why don't I come here next week to your place? She's like, all right, well, we can order something in. He's like, no, like, let's put on a movie or something like that. Like, I got to work in the morning. That's a red flag for me. But I allow it because I like this guy. And because I'm allowing myself to get fooled, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because again, nothing's been discussed. I've never said, hey, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. He's never said, hey, this is what I want. And I'm allowing myself to get intertwined into this miscommunication that we've never had.
Okay.
All right? Because again, I'm still the girl in this perspective, but I'm believing going with the flow, which you'll hear from all women, was the move here.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Next week comes along. I'm excited to see him for our Netflix and chill date. I'm hoping it's going to be more than that. I'm hoping he's not just going to want sex. He comes over, he just wants sex. We fuck. He's like, all right, I got to run. She's like, oh, you don't want to watch the movie? You don't want to hang out? You don't want to do it? He's like, nah, I got to run. He's like, maybe I'll see you next week.
Yep.
Doesn't call again. I've only seen him twice, and he's gone. Can't get a hold of him, can't do anything. And I feel like a hoe. Not because I did hoe things. By all the rule books, I followed the rule book. But I feel like a hoe because I feel like I got taken advantage of. My argument to kind of come out of devil's advocate and stop lobbying for them, because I just gave you a fire example of how they're thinking,
Yep.
is to challenge that and be like, how did you get taken advantage of in this
Exactly.
scenario?
Yeah.
At no point did you say to yourself, hey, look, the best thing to do is to have a conversation with this guy and see what this guy
Right,
wants,
right.
which could have avoided the whole miscommunication. Maybe at that point, you end up saving your pride, which you feel wronged from,
Yeah.
because again, you feel like you've been taken advantage of and all that. Maybe all that doesn't happen if you just have a straight up conversation.
Absolutely.
But as we talked on in previous videos,
Yep.
our generation doesn't talk
They
anymore.
don't talk anymore.
We don't communicate because unless it's in a text message, we didn't read it. And even if we did, if I'm that guy, I probably have a text message from 4 other girls. I'm just trying to balance all of you. All right?
Yeah.
So because I'm trying to do that, when do I have time to see a text message? I came over. We made plans. I came over. I was here. I didn't read a text message, and you didn't try to talk to me about it, so it was a non-point.
Exactly.
That's how I'm viewing it.
No, it's true. It wasn't important, right?
So, to look at both perspectives, this girl ends up walking away, and she's not going to tell her friends about it because all of a sudden, this fire guy that her friends couldn't wait to meet, that was potential boyfriend material, is now no longer any of that, and she's
Yeah.
embarrassed, so she's not going to bring him up again.
Exactly.
And the guy's walking away as, you know what? I wanted to hit a couple times. I hit a couple times. Mission accomplished.
Yep.
So my question is this ultimately to all of the viewers, right? Because I want perspectives from everybody.
Yep.
Does it not make more sense to have a guy play the short game where you know his intentions, he's been straight up with you about everything, and then ultimately there's no miscommunications, hurt feelings, and you can say that I'm honestly on the same page?
Yep.
Or does it make more sense to get tangled up in this Steve Harvey, think like a man, act like a woman fucking bullshit that you perpetuated because your attitude was, hey, I don't fuck on the first date. Hey, I'm going to make him wait 3 weeks. I made him wait 3 weeks. He passed all the tests, but once the sex happened, he was out anyway.
Yeah.
What did you win by that? What did you gain?
Exactly.
You got to save face among your friends because then you got to say, hey, I dated him for 3 weeks. All he wanted was sex. Once we had the sex, he left.
But you played yourself.
And that's where we get the title of the video.
Yep. You played yourself because literally, you can have rules, but the rule needs to come in for your own principle. It's not to apply on people. When I say, look, I'm being blunt, I'm not saying that, oh, that will give me more girls, or that's because, like, I feel like I'm different. No, it's because I look at the way I could operate and I go, that's the easiest and most simple way of fucking acting.
Yeah.
And
because I look at it this way, you know, the same way you look at it. And I mean, yeah, we just did a talk on Fuckboy Nation, and I mean, we did a talk about living a stress-free life, hashtag your best life, and I mean, we talked about evolution and everything from no strings attached to summer relationships before.
Yes.
Drop in a few on you guys. You got homework now. But what I'm saying is, with all this stuff, you know, what is the point? Because my attitude is, I look at it this way from a fuckboy perspective, and I'm like, look, I'm not out here to break hearts. I'm not out here to have miscommunications that ultimately end up in me driving halfway across the city to not fuck. You know, like, I'm not trying to do any of that shit. So I'd rather be straight up with you, make sure we're on the same page, and we both end up with what we want.
Yep.
Which is fire sex.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We have a great time. If the goal is to see you again, then I see you again. If the goal isn't, then we had fun. You know, like it's summertime.
Yeah.
And we always get into this. We did it with the summer relationships video, but it's like, look, relationships exist in two different planes. It's winter when you're trying to cuff somebody and basically say, okay, I need a boyfriend for the winter, because ultimately I can't see other options as plainly as they're walking around downtown in shorts and fucking sandals and all this shit. If it's girls, it's dresses and these fucking amazing skirts and all this shit.
Yeah.
So you don't know what's out there, right? You rely on apps like Tinder and shit like that to give you a summer picture of this girl, a body pic, whatever. You can't see what bitches look like through fucking Canada Goose jackets. All right? Yeah, you can see the legs, you can't see anything else.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot, dude. I'm not saying it's like Moscow with fucking massive coats and you don't know if there's going to be a girl 100 pounds under that or fucking 300 pounds. But I'm saying, like, yo, there's a difference in the relationships for a reason. That's why everybody strays the second the summer rolls around, because they're like, yo, you're not being fire to me right now. You're making me wait for sex. You're making this, you're bitching, you're nagging, you're being jealous, you're doing whatever. I'm out because I know I'm fire. I can get something better. Peace.
Yep.
So that's why they roll.
Yep.
And it's not like we're saying to you guys as the viewers, like the fam, like we're not saying this mind-blowing fucking shit. But you know what? It is a good refresher for you guys, because it's like there's moments when everybody that's watching this forgets that this is the way the fucking world works.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't.
No, we don't.
But y'all do, because literally if we're saying you played yourself, we're saying you're not gonna go after something ultimately that you wanted from the beginning, because in that first example, I came up to you and the attraction was there in that example, but the delivery was too blunt, and that's why you ended up ultimately saying there was too many red flags and you told me to fuck off. I went my own way respectfully in that example.
Yep.
Right? But the fire was there for the attraction.
Yeah.
So now you're just saying the issue was the delivery. All right. So because I didn't drag it out, because I wasn't that guy saying, hey, look, the best way for me to get this is by lying and manipulating the girl.
By lying, yep.
And I decided to go with the direct approach. I didn't get asked.
Exactly.
But you gave it to this other dude who ended up ultimately becoming the same guy that I was, but just wearing a mask.
But I think he's worse, actually.
I know he's worse, because the difference is I might wear a fuckboy t-shirt, but this guy's literally saying, no, I'm a gentleman. I'm a nice guy. Yeah. I'm a nice guy. I'm a gentleman. All right, I hit, bye. You know, or they're just ghosting you. You don't even get the bye.
Yep.
And I'm saying, at what point do you feel more respected as a young lady, a young gentleman, whatever, if you're the one that's being played in this situation? Because at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror. You got to be forced. That's what we're challenging you to do. Look in the mirror and say, did you play yourself in that role? Because if you end up smashing me in that scenario, you're in control of the situation. You're like, all right, I get to pick my place or yours. I get to pick the dynamic. I'm being straight with you. Okay, these are my intentions. This is what I want out of this. Okay, I know what you want out of this.
But that's the thing.
We can make it work or we can't. And if it's I can't, then at least you know and you split. It's not like what could have been, blah, blah, blah. You have closure. You have everything right there.
Yep. Totally. And then that's the thing. Like, it's almost like, oh, well, I still wanted my peace, but then I wanted something to evolve. You have to be willing to lose something if you want something.
Oh, and that's the one thing I don't think I've met yet a young lady that understands that.
Nobody
that you got to
understands
be
that.
willing to sacrifice like that.
You have to.
That term is understated so frequently in our society today. What a true sacrifice is.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to jeopardize everything. And I've been with exes that will make that move. And you know what? Looking back on it, maybe I didn't handle it the best. I was young and naive or whatever. But I've had exes that literally come up to me and they're like, yo, I think you're amazing. I'm in love with you. After like a month, after like a few weeks or whatever.
Yep.
And I run, right? Because I'm like, yo, like, I'm like, that's not natural. But the truth is, like, knowing now, looking back, I respect them for that.
They were being real.
Because they were being real, exactly. You know, you shouldn't have to ever hide your feelings. And I think that's something we all kind of figure out as we get older in life. And I wish it's something we figured out when we were younger.
Yeah.
But hindsight's 2020, you know? Like,
course.
some people, everybody had, you know, advances at their own stages in every
takes
stage of the
time.
relationship.
It totally takes time to just be like able to lay it on the line and say, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt me if the answer is no. So, because I think that's what the problem is, right? Like, especially, and I know like society is not being fair to those ladies where it's like, oh well, if you give it up too quick, you're a slut. But then again, if they wait too long, you're a prude. So at that point, like it's a gray area. But I'm saying, how about you take that whatever society is saying, throw it in the trash, and then say, look, hey guy or hey woman, or whatever you want to date, and you say, this is what I want, right? I feel comfortable if we're not rushing to do this thing because I feel we can talk, we can build something. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Then you leave the person the choice.
But I think the thing we're both saying here, and we say it in most of our videos, is like, communication is the key. At the end of the day, we're not barbarians. We're not out here like hitting like these girls over the head with clubs and being like dragging them back to the cave or some shit.
No.
Like, you know, I'm also saying, yeah, there's examples where I am that caveman, where I am walking up to you in a different scenario and saying, you, me, sex, and then we're walking to the cave, and everybody's like, yo, he's a legend. You see how he just asked her bluntly and she said yes?
Yeah.
But one example is like consent, the other one wasn't, obviously. But
Yeah.
my whole thing is this: at the end of the day, like, I think the most important thing, no matter what you're doing, no matter if like this is a girl that you're gonna one night stand and never see again, and maybe that was your goal for the evening. You just wanted something new.
Yeah.
You didn't care what happened,
Want something strange.
strange or whatever. Like, but I'm saying the goal is whatever you want it to be that evening. But communication should always be the foremost and front key
Yeah.
to unlocking whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Because if you're being straight with everybody, there's no miscommunications, there's no misinterpretations, there's no, oh well,
I thought it was this.
I thought it was this, but I thought he was going left, but he went right. And I mean, all examples of the above. But
Exactly.
I'm just saying, like, if you play your cards like that, at the end of the day, nobody's getting hurt. And to me, hurting somebody is never the goal.
No.
You know, and we talked about that in Fuckboy Nation. We've talked about that in previous videos. But, you know, we're not out here to break hearts and shit. We're out here, I'm 26 respectively. You know, I'm out here to be 26. You know, there's some people that have 5 kids at 26 and they've been married for 6 years.
That's
and I
them,
say
though.
power to them.
That's them,
but
though.
I'm saying my best life isn't calling that shit for me right now.
Exactly.
Now we both know if it was up to me, I'd have 5 kids by now. But
It's happened.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky. So that's what happened.
But it's funny you say that because I mean I talked to a couple of coworkers and they're like, man, I wasn't resting this weekend because like I have 2 kids and then I have another one that has a kid on the way. He's like, you're so lucky. You just went to Montreal and you did all this thing, but it's like, yeah, because that's my calling now. It's just to be free and not have necessarily tie downs and whatnot. And I'm saying that about a relationship too. Like at the end, hey, it happens, it's fantastic. But I'm saying like the reason I could say that is because I'm perfectly okay with being like, okay, I might have a roster of 1. I might not have nobody on the roster. I might have a roster of 10. But when you're like you're okay with this, then you can obtain what you want. And then on top of that, I always give like girls I'm trying to date the choice where I tell them, look, this is what I want. Are you okay with that?
So what I'm hearing from you is that by knowing yourself,
Yes.
and even better than that, knowing what you want
Yeah.
in that moment, and then communicating with these birds what you want,
Yes.
that's the key to not playing yourself.
Exactly.
All right, wrap the fuck up. Done. All right, people. Well, you know what? Lots of truth, lots of knowledge on you. We got 3 videos coming on the way, so look out for them. More videos to come. Anyway, it's late. We out. It's Calling Out Clinic
Calling our clinic. Let's go.
here with your boy Alessandro Tryhard, and thanks, fam, for the support and love.
And we
Peace.
out. Peace.